All right. Nice to be here. Thanks for having us, guys. Sanya, Mary, thanks for being here. First of all, before we start this conversation, you guys have obviously done many of these. I'd first just like to know what are some questions you're tired of answering? थकी गए हो, like something that you're just done. You're like, don't ask me this question. Yeah, Mary, are you tired of answering something? Don't ask me this.
That too, actually, I don't know what to say.
Good
Please.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, can
Good
you guys hear
afternoon,
her?
everyone. What am I tired of answering? I am tired of answering. So okay, one question. I don't know about now, but when we were playing tennis, and she's still boxing, but when I was playing every match, especially after a big match, and they would be like, after you won that match, they'd be like, so how do you feel? And I'm like, how do you think I will feel at this point? I've just won Wimbledon. Like, how do you think I'm going to be feeling? They loved asking that question, and I think every journalist thought that it was some great question that they were coming up with,
Yeah.
like as to I'm going to have some great feeling that I'm going to describe to them that I don't know, I'm feeling like out of body experience or something. No, I mean, I'm happy, but like I got to come back and play again tomorrow, you know? So that was one question that really bothered me. Now, I guess we get a lot of questions. I'm sure she gets it also a lot about. I get a lot as to when I go and work and do stuff like that as women, and you're like, so where's your kid? And I'm like, he's at home.
They just expect the kid to be with you
No,
everywhere.
basically, right?
Yeah.
Like when I used to play and I used to go and travel, and there were some weeks I used to not take him because it's a lot for a 2-year-old to travel 25 weeks a year. And they're like, but uske saath kaun rehta? Who's with him? And I'm like, he will survive 5 days without me, like he will do it. Just the way he survives without a father for like 5 weeks, he will survive 5 days. It happens. It's okay. So that's a question that I get asked all the time. Like, oh, where's your kid? I was like, he's not going to be attached to my hip every time that I walk out of my house.
Right. Don't ask Sanya how she's feeling. All right.
After I win. Or
Guys, we have a lot of business folks in the audience, and I was actually talking to Mary just before, and we were talking about how when you go for a weigh-in, like all the things you have to do right before the weigh-in, and how as soon as you would finish the weigh-in, Mary was like, "Hum sab line lag jate." We'd be like, immediately give me water so I can just have some water. It's been 16 hours since I've had water. Can you guys remember, just to give an example of just the crazy sacrifices that you would have to make to be at the top of your game,
Yeah. Well, I have been fighting for the last 20 years. Being a girl, being a woman, being a mother, and, fighting for that, that period's long, it's not easy. And to maintain the weighing is also not easy. And obviously, when we are competing, every competition, sometimes our weight is going up and down. So we have to control. Whether we drink water, we eat anything like, measurement all the time. This much gram I drink, this much gram I eat. Then at the same time, evening, morning, we have to do, workout, how much hour or a minute hour, like, then to burn again that calories. to, that is actually for us is usually for the last many years we are not used to. Very hard, very tough, very difficult, even fast whole night. And only sip, even we are thirsty to drink a lot of water. Nighttime we sweat actually. You don't think that we are not sweat. When we are doing only we sweat. No, nighttime also we sweat. So that thirsty, that we wants to drink a lot of water, that control, it's a lot of sacrifices. as well.
Your job seems easy now, doesn't it?
Yeah, when we win any medal or measure like Olympic, Commonwealth, Asian Games, when we count the medal of the number or maybe bronze, silver, gold, and very easy, it's easy to say, oh, Mary Kom win a gold medal for this time in this Commonwealth Games, Asian Games, and Olympic bronze medal. Very easy. But when we are practically doing it, is preparation going time. That is, no one see that how much we have given, and that hard work, that struggle. So this is another challenge we are talking about the wings. So the whole night. Yes, after the evening training session, then we check immediately weight, how much kilo is up, or even the 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram. Okay, I can eat a little bit, I can drink a little bit, water. So, and then again, in the morning we wake up and again check the weight again. Then if it's weight is okay, then okay, we are not eating, not drinking anything also. Until unless we doesn't give the final weight, And if it is gram or something over, then again we are doing exercise, training this and that to sweat out to burn the calories again.
That sounds crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And after all, final.
It's exactly what you were saying backstage. You were not eating for 72 hours, you said, right?
Yeah, I had to break a plateau. But mine is a necessity. Like, I need to drop that weight. Sanya, do you remember something that you go like, that's crazy, I can't believe that's what I had to do?
I mean, there's a lot of things like that, but honestly, tennis, is such a sport where a 6'8" person can also play somebody who's 5 feet tall, and somebody who's 120 kilos also plays somebody who's 60 kilos. So we don't have that problem of weight, but we do have a problem to play somebody who's 6 feet 7 inches tall.
Yeah.
So lucky that no sacrifice much.
So I think that honestly, when we were growing up, obviously both of us come from a similar generation and we still are in that generation where cricket sort of took everything and all the headlines and all the newspapers and all the TV channels in space. So we had to come out, especially a sport like boxing or tennis, we had to come out and really say that, oh, we're going to do something that's out of the box. So basically everything that we did was crazy at that point. We used to play on courts made out of cow dung, for example. And we used to get tetanus injections and play that and then be like, oh, I'm going to win Wimbledon one day. And people were like, are you mad? Like, what are you talking about? So, which is very normal for them to do. So I just think that every dream, every sacrifice, every work, or all the work that was put in was all crazy. It was 8 hours a day of training. It was waking up at 5:30, going for training, going to school. My mom used to bring clothes, eat in the auto, go train for 4 hours, come back, school, homework, and done. And like that was our life basically. At least that was my life basically. When I think about it and my son says, I want to play tennis, I'm like, I think it's fine. I don't know if I can really do that all over again.
Yeah. Here's a cricket bat.
Yeah, I'm okay with him like being a doctor or, like something like that, because I'm just like the kind of sacrifice that's going in as a family unit. I've already done it. And my parents also say like, if we knew what was going to happen, I don't know if we could do it again, Yeah. So I just feel that to come out of a area or a continent that is not high on other sports is in itself tough, and being young girls is even tougher. So everything is basically a big fat sacrifice.
And at the end of it, there is victory, right? Both of you have achieved, absolute crazy success, but you have to get up the next day and still continue, right? Because, you won a tournament, you won a championship, but there's the next one that's coming. How do you motivate yourself to keep winning even while you're at the top? How do you keep motivating yourself to keep wanting to win?
I mean, for me, I think it was really to remember why I started playing. And I think and the truth is that nobody really starts to play, especially tennis 30 years ago from Hyderabad, saying that I'm going to make money and be famous one day and walk red carpets. That's not why you start playing. You start playing because you love the sport. You start playing because you want to do something for yourself, for your family, for your country. And even after you achieve that success, to have the hunger from within to come back and say, because honestly, you're really only as good as your last match. And you might have, you might have won Wimbledon, but you come back 1 week later and you have to compete 2 weeks before US Open to win US Open again. So your success is very short-lived, but the good news is that so is your failure. Because if you fail, then you can come back and try again.
You have another shot.
So it's exactly the same thing. So that's what just kept me motivated, knowing that I can be better. And when I did hit a plateau like you did,
Can we not focus on my plateaus?
so when I did hit a plateau where I felt like, I don't know if I want to put my body through this anymore. I don't know if I want to commit to all this stuff anymore and sacrifice and do all of those things. That's when I said, I think it's time to stop. And obviously it was 21 years later, but for those 21 years, you keep going.
Mary, you're still putting your body through that stress. How are you doing it?
Well, I was, for the last many years, 20 years, been competing, winning so much medal. And of course, I don't know that is, where is come that motivation. And, sometimes I also feel and think that, I cannot, I cannot realize that how the energy it's come through, how the energies come from. Actually, I already have all the medals, even I don't think I am not lacking any medals in all the championship games. Only that I have missed out the Olympic gold medal. Bronze already. And still that hunger, that, the desire, and that pushed me beyond, like, it's crazy. Even I already have so much medal, and also how, even I cannot explain. At the same time, the last Olympic Paris was even really, feel that, before retirement, at least if I able to compete the last Olympic, like, And then what happened, and that last 1.5 year, I was injured, I did my ACL surgery, and it took almost 1.5 years to recover. And then at the same time, I missed out so many major competition, like World Championship, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games also. And this time, again, another Olympic.
Your knees are like, bro. How much more?
I don't know. So this is live, even at the same time, because of the IBA have that age limit. I thought I'm young. I'm only 16, 17 years. Still that have, energy. Still have, I'm already 42 years. And that energy, if we compare with the young boxer, still, I am not in that training peak, like, hard, but they cannot beat me till 2 rounds. Maybe endurance must be, they are young, they have energetic, but skill, technique-wise, Never, ever. This is the confidence. If I am in boxing, training proper, at least, 1, 2 months, then they will never beat me. This is confidence I have still, and that hunger, desire to, fight another year. So that is, that confidence. Sorry, sir. Thank
Think
you.
well done.
Yeah, thank you. So,
Ma'am, I want to ask if you're in a bout and you're in the last round.
oh, really? Yeah.
Not right now. Wow, I would have nightmares about that. You're in the last round, okay, and you think the match is equalish, right? What are you telling yourself when it's crunch time? You're that close. What are you telling yourself? When it's
Okay.
इतना नजदीक है, तब आप क्या सोच रहे हो?
कैसे जीतना है?
हाँ, क्या
How
है?
to win.
Last.
Exactly. See, whatever I have compete, fighting, every competition. Yes, sometimes I cannot, able to catch the opinion. Yes, we seem like equal, and also if a little taller than me, that reads advantage sometimes. That kind of practice I never had before. Okay, then only I am stuck. I am in trouble. So if I prepare well, maybe this time I'm going to compete with the taller guy. Even analysis is also going. Before तो रिंग में अंदर गया तो फिर धूम धाम जीतो हारो और जान लगा के खेलो, do whatever and do or die, so after all digital this day by day this happen. Then we also analyze so much so many matches and the fight. Also we search the opinion. This might be coming in this category, so that we have going to see the video and analyze. Okay, or orthodox, southpaw, such analyze going. And okay, once I've seen the match fight only in video, then okay, it's okay, not tough. I can decide. So never ever fight any opinion. Then I feel tough. First round might be maybe my point was down. Maybe her point is 2 point up, 3 point up, whatever. And second round I will try to catch her. Once I catch the game, then easy. No need to wait for the last round. So,
Sanya, for you, if it's final set, tiebreaker, what are you saying to yourself?
In that moment, I'm saying to myself, I'm better than the other person. I mean, that exactly what she's saying, but
Okay.
in just a different way. In
maybe
that
it's
moment,
different,
no,
strategy.
in that tight situation where
Yeah.
you're feeling like, oh my God, there's so much pressure. I just used to say to myself that, yeah, I'm feeling the pressure, but she's feeling the pressure too, because there are two people who are in that. So if I'm feeling it, she's feeling it, and I used to thrive under pressure. So I used to say, I'm better. Whether I am better or not is a secondary issue. But in that moment, I have to tell myself that I'm better.
How do you learn to enjoy pressure?
What is
I like
question?
it. Try me.
Yeah, I thrive in pressure. How do you learn to thrive in pressure? That's
I think that if you don't strive under pressure, I think it's very hard to become an athlete, a successful athlete, because you have to enjoy those moments of jitters. You have to enjoy those moments of feeling, oh, my life depends on this. Oh, there's so much. And if you don't enjoy it, everybody knows that there's so much pressure on you. There's social media, there's all kinds of media. People are saying everything. But if you don't actually go on there and believe that you're the best, and it's almost like up to this person has said, I will prove that I'm better. It's almost that. And you just want to, you have to believe that you're better than the other person in that moment. You have to. And because I think that if you don't believe that, you're definitely going to lose.
Can you tell me an example of when you took a big risk and it paid off in a game? Like, say you're playing with an opponent and you realize that, okay, my usual style is not going to work. I got to change something up. You took a risk.
You know, I played tennis for 21 years. You want me to think of one
Just
time?
one
I'm sure
example.
that happened so many times. But I'll tell you one pressure situation. I don't know. I see a lot of people from India in the audience. So I'm guessing whoever did watch that Wimbledon final that we played. Martina and I were playing that final, and it was, we were down 5-2 in the third set.
Correct.
And we came back to 5-all. The momentum was in our favor. There's no bigger pressure than that, right? It's a final of Wimbledon. You're 5-all in the third set, and that's where it all lies because that's what you worked all your life for. And of course, All England Club, being All England Club, said that no, now no baj gaye, so we have to close the roof because the neighbors will get disturbed. So we had to then close the roof, which took a 40-minute break, and the momentum was completely in our favor. At that point, you don't want to take a break of 40 minutes, right? So we all had to go inside. We went inside. Me and Martina were cramping. My dad, our coach, our team came, and they're like, you know, we're both tight, right? Like, so, like I said, pressure. And we're both like, oh my God, I'm cramping. My dad's like, are you tired? I was like, no, I'm just cramping because I'm really nervous at this point of time. And we had 4 people in our team. All 4 of them said to us, this is exactly why you worked hard, to be in this position. So there's no reason for you to feel scared. Whether you win or you lose, you've still been part of one of the greatest Wimbledon finals to have been played here. So go and enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy it. And we walked out. 40 minutes later, both of us were smiling, and people asked us, why were you guys smiling at 5-all in the third set? We were both smiling. We walked out, and it was a standing ovation. I swear it was like a Bollywood film, right? Like where in the end the hero wins, no? So that was the whole thing. We came out, we walked, and we looked around, and there was 12,000 people standing at Wimbledon Centre Court. And I looked at Martina and I said, why else have we worked hard to have this? And we went there and we broke straight away, and we were out of the court in 5 minutes, and we won Wimbledon.
Amazing.
So
amazing. Yeah.
that's how you enjoy pressure.
I want to know, like, in the world of business as well, things change rapidly, right? And a lot of folks, they have long, enduring careers, and as a company, you wanna be able to be adaptable to change. So for both of you in your respective sports, how did you adapt as you aged or as you became more experienced and as you started playing younger players? Can you give me an example of how you adapted your game when you started as you went further on in your career? We'll start with you, Sanya.
Well, I think that you have to train smart. You know, at least that's what I had to do. I think that, you know, tennis being such a physical sport as well, I couldn't put in those 6-7 hours. I was 3 surgeries and a child down by 18 years. So I couldn't come out and be like, okay, 4 surgeries later, I'm still going to train like when I was 16 years old. That's just dumb because I'm not going to last, right? So you basically start training smart. You try to, and with the technology and with stuff that has the recovery technology, the stuff that basically the data that there is available in terms of the food that you can intake, what helps you recover better, what helps you perform better. There's so much that has evolved in that 16, 17, 18 years that I started playing tennis at. You just sort of adapt and you kind of like find your way. You know, instead of training 6-7 hours a day, you train 2-3 hours a day, but you change the way that you're training. You change the people that you're training with. You know, you do stuff like that. You try to be smart about it. I used to first travel with a trainer and a hitting partner and a coach. Then I started traveling with a physio full time, you know, because that's what I needed. Yeah, I played with a torn meniscus for the last 2 years. I still have a torn meniscus. But how did I have to manage that? Because I wasn't going to have another surgery and then go out for 6 months. So it was just about becoming smarter about your choices.
Got it.
I figured out gluten doesn't work for me. I stopped eating gluten, you know, for example. It's a very small example, but You just need to figure out your what enhances your performance and what makes you feel the best version of yourself, and that changes with age and with weight and with so many things.
Ma'am?
Well, a little similar. Obviously, we are sports, how we adapt, even Mirza already said that, smartly, yeah, before, for the last many years, no, we don't have so much experience. We don't adapt with the coaches or the support staff. Even the coordination not adapt, and then if we are already coordination, we adapt each other, and the flow, the training which we have done is, automatically it's work. So, and in boxing is a lot of, different type of training planning and training program. So high level in intensity was different, low intensity, high intensity. Certain the training program we can't able to adapt, So this also it's very very important to adapt certain program, and maybe first round may be slow, and the second, okay, fine, now we are used to, we adapt immediately, quickly, fast. So this is very, we have to train very smartly. Unnecessary waste energy, wasting energy. Unnecessary, headache, if we are not adapt, unnecessary headache also. So even the coach said and something else, and I'm not following, can't follow proper. There's certain, we can't adapt sometime. Then once already adapt, then it's very smart. No need to train that much. An hour also, even 1-2 hour finish and happy.
You both mentioned coaching staff, and we have time for one last question. I want to ask Sania, when you teamed up with Martina, how do you build trust with a partner? Someone that you don't necessarily know that well, but now that you're a team, how do you begin trusting them, and how do you build trust with someone new?
Yeah, it's a process, and I think that with the entire team, that trust needs to be there, because you are spending more time with that teammate and with the team than you are spending with your family.
Correct.
Because you're traveling with them, you're training with them.
And the kid is not with you all the time.
No, and he's not attached to my hip,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
No, and then you're basically, you're sharing so many emotions with them, happy, sad, angry. You feel all those things during a tennis match. Luckily, at least on top of my head, I didn't play with anybody that I absolutely despised or hated. We could stand each other at dinner. I'm not saying you need to be best friends, but you should be able to go for an occasional meal together. And Martina and I actually knew each other for a long time. We had played against each other in singles. We then played against each other in doubles, and then we got together. And when we got together, we actually got along fine. We were not the greatest of friends, but we were friends. And it remained that way. And honestly, I think we both found a really good balance, because I think that if you're not trusting that person, the important and tough moments on the court, you need to have trust in the other person, right? For
Correct.
me to say, hit that ball, that's yours, I need to trust her. And vice versa.
And you trust that they gave it their best.
Of course, and that they will be able to do a better job than you in that very second. So you need to have that trust with the person. That comes over time. That also comes by winning a lot. So when you win a lot, you trust each other more, and that's why when you lose, the trust slowly fades away. So fortunately, me and her had the most incredible partnership.
Yeah.
And we were able to achieve things that, haven't been done in I don't know how many years. But more than that, even today we're friends. Even today we have a mutual respect for each other. And we still say that no matter who we've played with, to each other, that that person was, you know, the greatest partner I've ever had, because we were just not able to replicate those results with anybody else.
Mary, how do you, when you have someone new in your coaching staff, what do you do to start trusting them?
Yes, even again, it's similar. Even whoever I work with, training staff, or even my training partner, yeah, there will be not my opinion in
the match.
in the match, in the competition, whatever. So I trust them. Yeah, if you know, I fight the regular, you know, we had the sparring sessions going. So sometimes they are a little bit worried if they hurt me, you know. That also something different. So
Yeah, I'd be worried.
Yeah, because mostly.
They don't want to hurt you.
Please. Even during my Olympic preparation going, that, you know, I'm not have a training partner with the girls, actually.
How do you tell them, please hurt me?
No, it's not like that. You so you play on your game, you know, don't have such a, you know, hesitate, like, you know, don't control yourself, you know. So you play on your game. So they control so much, like, you know, if I hurt, then one will be
Kal headline ban jaungi main.
headline ban jaye.
I think they're more worried if you'll hurt them after they hurt you. I don't think.
Maybe, maybe
Yeah.
something like that also. I don't know, but sometimes I feel like I feel sudden, like, you know, Arey, why you didn't hit me? Why you didn't punch me?
And they're like, we're trying.
Yeah. Then yeah, they call me madam because they are junior only, no? So madam, so we scared that we.
You want them to call you madam and hit you?
हम trust बढ़ाने की बात कर रहे हैं. We are losing trust every minute now.
So if you don't hit me, how I will win in Olympic? You know, so that is always motivate them also. So finally, yeah, they also try the level best, and, you know, even preparation with the boys is another experience. So later on, too, they are already normal, like, you know, they do their game, you know, play their own games. So that is, then only the trust is more connect, more effect, like.
There you go, guys. If your business partners, go for boxing and ask them to hurt you.
Oh, yes, of course. You know, this is very, very similar. Like, you know, don't ever think that like, you know, boxing is a game and business is not. You know, it's all about this, you know, competition, business also. Competition, even we, games are also, you know, have that competition. It's a very, very.
It's similar, not the same, guys, just to be fully clear.
Yeah, not the same, like fighting each other. No. So maybe if you want to fight each other, you can build a boxing ring, then you can
In the
fight.
conference room.
Yes.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please, big round of applause for Sania Mirza and Mary Com. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining
so
us, guys.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's our time.
Thank you.